Greetings. For October 12th, we will be looking at Acts chapter 12. In Acts chapter 12, we start off with the death of James. Herod, persecuting the Christians, the guys of the way, has put James, the brother of John, to death by the sword. And it pleased him, it says. He has also taken Peter prisoner. Peter's in jail. He is arrested at Passover, and Herod is keeping him imprisoned while the church is praying for Peter. Apparently, God hears their prayers because an angel appears in Peter's cell, woke Peter up very gently. There's a lot of description of this. And Peter puts his clothes on, gets up to leave, and is escorted out of the prison. And when he is completely out of the prison, the angel departs from him. He comes to himself, and he really believes that. But before that, when the angel's with him, he really believes he's having another daydream, like he did when he had that vision of the animals coming down on the big picnic blanket. So, but that's not true. He comes to himself, and he decides to go to the house of Mary, who is called here the mother of John. And he goes to Mary's house, but it's a maid named Rhoda, who also lives upstairs from Mary. Yeah, she's the upstairs neighbor, right? So Rhoda comes to the gate, sees Peter, and doesn't exactly help Peter out. She's so amazed that she's seen Peter, she runs back in and tells everybody, Peter's at the gate. And so they're all like, we don't believe you. And Peter, still knocking. I'm still here. Can I please come in? I just got out of prison. I just escaped. So funny. It's kind of a funny scene. And everyone celebrates, and he tells them all what happened. So the next morning, though, the soldiers who slept through the whole thing, the whole prison escape, they discover that Peter's gone. They tell Herod, and Herod has them killed. So if you're keeping track, we have two of the apostles, Stephen and James, have been killed, and then a handful of soldiers. But there's many more to come. So what happens is Herod's got some political problems with some other countries that are around him that are being, and I think what's happening is there might be famine in those countries because they're complaining to him about an inequitable distribution of goods. And so it says in my translation, it says the people of Tyre and Sidon came to him together, and they won over Blastus, the king's chamberlain. Blastus, that's one of those biblical names that you don't hear called very often. But anyway, Blastus was the confidant for the king, and they won him over. And I don't even know what that means. But, did they kill him? Did they overcome him? Or did they get him on their side? But anyway, they come to before Herod for this plea, and he delivers an address, and the people are upset with him because he's not giving glory to God. And immediately, because he had not done that, giving glory to God, an angel of the Lord struck him down. He was struck down, eaten by worms, and died. Usually the worms come after death, but for Herod, it's fitting. So that's what happens to him. Then we have the update on, meanwhile, in Antioch, remember Saul and Barnabas are together, still call them Saul, and what happens is it's not clear in the Bible, but if you look in the commentaries, you get the sense of this is what they're trying to say, that Saul and Barnabas left Antioch, went to Jerusalem, and when they went back to Antioch, they took John, who is also called Mark, so I'm calling him John Mark, with them. So this is the guy who's um, mother, Peter went to her house, but they brought him back with them to Antioch. That's kind of what they're saying. John, whose other name was Mark. Everybody has two names in here. But that's kind of where it happens. And then there's more action to come with Barnabas and Saul in Antioch and their ministry there in chapter 13, which is tomorrow. Have a good day.